Hello, the fear of being judged, of not being enough, of not measuring up. Have you ever felt that way? That feeling, that knot in your stomach that stops you from speaking, from acting, from being yourself, that is the ghost of insecurity. Today, I won't give you magical solutions. We are going to explore something deeper and more lasting, the wisdom of the Stoics. I propose a journey to become the architect of your own mental fortress, building a shield that not only protects you but allows you to live with confidence, with a clear purpose, and, above all, in peace. Imagine a navigator in the middle of a stormy sea. The wind howls, waves crash against the ship relentlessly. The terrified crew looks to the captain for a response. And what does he do? He doesn't yell or panic. He looks at the horizon, assesses the wind, and adjusts the rudder. He knows he can't control the storm, but he can control his response. He knows that fear is not a good navigator. We are that captain, and insecurity, criticism, and the fear of failure are the storm. The Stoics taught us to look at the horizon, to understand what we can and cannot control, and to adjust our own internal rudder to sail through any tempest. Lesson 1. The dichotomy of control. Insecurity feeds on a fundamental lie, the idea that we must control everything. We want to control what others think of us, how they perceive us, whether they like us or not. But can you control if someone likes your clothes or if they approve of your opinion? The answer is no. The Stoics had a concept that is the basis of everything, the dichotomy of control. There are things within our control and things that are not. What is within our control are our thoughts, our actions, our intentions. What is not within our control are the opinions of others, the weather, the past, the future, or whether we are rejected. Insecurity arises when we invest our energy in what we cannot control. It's like trying to move a mountain with your bare hands. It's a battle lost from the start, leaving us exhausted with a sense of failure. To understand this on a deeper level, think of an everyday situation. You go to a work meeting and you're worried your ideas aren't good enough. You spend days polishing your presentation, rehearsing every word, but your insecurity doesn't calm down. Why? Because the approval of others is outside your control. Your work and effort are yours, but the final judgment of your colleagues is not. Stoicism invites you to pause and differentiate. Dedicate all your energy to what you can control. The quality of your work, the clarity of your presentation, your own preparation. Let go of the need to control the reaction. This is not resignation. It is a strategy. It's about putting your energy in the right place, the only place where security can flourish. Inside you, this change in mindset is a muscle that needs to be trained. Every time you feel the sting of insecurity, ask yourself, am I trying to control something that isn't my business? With each honest answer, you will release a weight from your mind. You will begin to realize how much energy you waste on ghosts, on hypothetical scenarios that are not in your hands. The freedom of knowing that your worth does not depend on what others think, but on what you do, is one of the greatest freedoms you can experience. And it is the first step to building an unbreakable mental fortress. The dichotomy of control is the map of your mental peace. It teaches us to navigate life, knowing where the boundaries of our power lie. When you stop fighting against the tides, you can't change and focus on adjusting your own course. You become the captain of your life. Insecurity is the cry of panic that arises when we feel powerless, but Stoic wisdom shows us that we never are. We always have control over our response, our attitude, and our action. And there lies true security. Lesson 2. Perception is your reality. Our minds are like a garden. If you don't take care of it, the weeds of doubt and fear grow unchecked. What are those weeds? They are our perceptions. A Stoic would say that it is not things themselves that disturb us, but the way we think about them. A criticism is not a blow unless you decide it is. A failure is not a catastrophe unless you decide it defines you. Insecurity is not a reality. It is a story you have told yourself. Imagine holding a rock in your hand. It's neither good nor bad. It's just a rock. But if you decide it's a dangerous rock, you let it go. If you decide it's a precious rock, you hold on to it. The rock hasn't changed. You are the one who has given it meaning. Insecurity is that rock, and you are the one who gives it meaning. You have the power to change the story you tell yourself. Think of a time when you felt insecure because of a comment someone made. Maybe they said, "That work isn't bad, but it could be better." The insecure mind's automatic reaction is to interpret that as, "I'm not good enough." This interpretation, this perception, is what causes you pain, not the words themselves. Stoicism teaches you to stop before making that leap. Words are just that, words. You decide whether they become a spear that wounds you or a tool for improvement. If you choose the second option, insecurity has no room to grow. You are taking control of your mental garden and deciding what stories will flourish in it. The exercise here is simple but powerful. The next time you find yourself in a situation that makes you insecure, pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking about this? It's not what is happening that bothers you, but the judgment you are making about it. If someone doesn't reply to your message, your insecure mind's story might be, they're not interested in me, I've annoyed them. But the reality is simply that they haven't replied. They could be busy, their battery could be dead, or they simply forgot. Insecurity is the voice that fills in the blanks with your worst fears. Stoicism gives you the strength to leave those blanks empty, without filling them with negative stories, and to wait to see the reality. Lesson 3. Character is your anchor. Insecurity makes us seek external approval, but the Stoics teach us that true confidence comes from within. It comes from living a life of virtue. I don't mean being perfect, but living with courage, with justice, with wisdom, and with moderation. When you know you act with honesty, that you treat others with respect, that you strive to be a better version of yourself every day, the opinion of others becomes less important. Your security is not based on what you have, on what you achieve, or on what others say about you, but on who you are. Your character is your anchor. It is the one thing no one can take away from you. Think of the moment you feel most secure. It's often when you're doing something you know is right. Maybe you're defending a friend, being honest in a difficult situation, or keeping a promise you made. In those moments, you don't worry about whether someone is watching you or if they're going to applaud you. You act with conviction. That conviction is the basis of true security. Insecurity disappears when you anchor yourself in your values, when you make sure your actions are aligned with the person you aspire to be. There is nothing more solid than the peace of a clear conscience. The journey of virtue is not a journey towards perfection. It is a journey of honesty with yourself. Are you the person you want to be in this moment? If the answer is yes, then there is no room for insecurity. If the answer is no, then you have work to do, but it is not work to impress anyone. It is work for you to build your own integrity. And that work, though sometimes difficult, is the deepest and most lasting source of security you will ever find. Insecurity feeds on the lack of a solid foundation. It seeks validation externally because it doesn't find it internally. Stoicism asks us to invest in the internal, to build a castle on the rock of our character. Don't worry about the cracks others try to make in your walls. Focus on the solidity of the foundations. When you commit to living a life of purpose, honesty, and courage, the applause or criticism of others becomes a mere whisper in the distance. And that is the voice that insecurity cannot silence. Lesson 4. The practice of premeditation of evils. One of the most powerful practices of the Stoics is the premeditation of evils. This is not about being pessimistic. It's about mentally preparing for the difficult things that could happen. Insecurity flourishes in surprise and fear of the unknown. Are you afraid of public speaking? Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe you mess up, your mind goes blank, or someone criticizes you. Now, ask yourself, could I survive that? The answer is always yes. By facing your fears in the quiet of your mind, you take away their power. The next time you face a situation that causes you insecurity, you will have already visited it in your mind, and you will know that you are capable of overcoming it. The premeditation of evils is like a mental drill. Firefighters don't wait for a fire to happen to know what to do. They practice, they prepare, they visualize the worst-case scenario. That way, when disaster strikes, they don't panic, they act. Insecurity is the panic that arises when we encounter something unexpected. By premeditating evils, we eliminate the unexpected. We become familiar with failure, with rejection, with criticism, before they happen. And by realizing that we can survive them, that they are not the end of the world, we take away their sting. Furthermore, this practice helps you develop a mindset of resilience. Instead of living in constant fear that something bad might happen, you ask yourself, if this happened, what would I do? This allows you to create a mental plan, a path forward. If you are criticized at work, your plan might be, I will listen carefully, thank them for the feedback, and see what I can learn. If you are rejected on a date, your plan might be, this is a part of life. I will move forward with dignity and respect. By having a plan, insecurity loses its power. You are not at the mercy of events, but you are prepared for them. And that preparation is the basis of unshakable confidence. Lesson 5. Mindfulness of the present moment. Insecurity lives in the past, regretting mistakes, and in the future, fearing what might happen. It rarely exists in the present. The Stoics understood the value of mindfulness, focusing on the here and now, on the task in front of you, on the person you are talking to, on the breath you are taking. When you are completely immersed in the moment, your mind has no space for the ghosts of insecurity. You are busy living, acting, feeling. The next time you feel insecurity pulling you down, anchor your mind in the present. Focus on the feeling of your feet on the ground, on the sound of your breath. This simple act will give you back control and remind you that you only have this moment. Mindfulness is not just a meditation technique. It is a way of life. It is a constant reminder that life is not a movie that has already passed or is going to happen, but a series of present moments. Insecurity is the ghost of a future that does not exist. It is the fear of a criticism that has not happened, of a failure that has not occurred. By anchoring your mind in the present, you cut off the energy supply to that ghost. Insecurity simply cannot exist in a fully lived present moment. To begin practicing, choose a simple task, like washing dishes or walking. Don't think about the past or the future. Feel the water on your hands, the weight of the dishes, the movement of your feet. When your mind begins to wander, to worry, gently, without judgment, bring it back to the present. This is the most effective exercise for combating insecurity. It is the act of reclaiming your power, of reclaiming your mind, of living where life truly happens. It is in this moment, not in the past or the future, where you will find peace. Lesson 6. The value of silence. Often, insecurity pushes us to talk too much, to justify ourselves, or to seek validation. The Stoics valued silence not as an absence of words, but as a presence of wisdom. They believed that silence is better than saying something of no value. The next time you feel insecure in a conversation, don't feel pressured to fill the void. Give yourself permission to listen, to observe. Silence can be your greatest weapon. It gives you time to think, to truly listen, and to respond with wisdom, instead of fear. Learning to be comfortable in silence is a huge step towards silencing the voice of insecurity. Insecurity makes us feel that we need to prove our worth at all times. We talk about our achievements, we try to be funny, we interrupt others to make sure they hear us. But silence is a sign of deep security. It shows that you don't need to prove anything. It shows that you are comfortable with yourself, that your value does not depend on how much you talk. The Stoics believed that the true wise person speaks little and listens a lot. The true wise person does not seek applause, they seek the truth. Silence is also a gift you give to yourself. It gives you the opportunity to observe and learn. When you remain silent, you let go of the need to be the center of attention, and you open yourself up to the possibility of listening. What are others saying? What can you learn from them? By letting go of your own need for validation, you become wiser, more empathetic, and, paradoxically, more secure in yourself. Silence is a shield, a space of calm in the midst of the noise of others' opinions. Lesson 7. The insignificance of what is outside you. Insecurity makes us feel like we are the center of attention for others, that everyone is watching and judging us. The Stoics remind us of a simple truth. You are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This is not meant to depress you, but to liberate you. Most people are too busy with their own lives, with their own problems, and with their own insecurities to devote themselves to judging you. You are an actor in their movie, but only for a moment. This perspective allows you to take others' opinions less seriously. It frees you to be yourself, without the weight of imaginary scrutiny. Insecurity is a heavy burden we carry on our shoulders, a burden that tells us that we are the focus of attention, that every mistake we make is seen and judged by everyone. But is that really true? How many times have you seen someone make a mistake and, a few minutes later, completely forgotten about it? The reality is that most people are the center of their own universe, not yours. This perspective is not cruel, it is liberating. It gives you permission to make mistakes, to be imperfect, to be human. It gives you the freedom to stop acting for others and start living for yourself. Lesson 8. The choice of indifference. The Stoics talked about indifference not as a lack of emotion, but as the ability to not let external things affect your inner peace. Criticism, negative comments, even success or failure are things you can choose to be indifferent to. This does not mean you don't care. It means you don't let them define you. Don't let criticism destroy you. Don't let success make you arrogant. Insecurity dissolves when you stop giving power to what you cannot control. Indifference is your shield. Stoic indifference is an armor you put on to protect your mental peace. It allows you to listen to a criticism without it causing you pain, to see a failure without it defining you. It's not that you don't feel anything, but that you refuse to let those feelings control you. You give yourself permission to feel sadness, frustration, or disappointment, but you refuse to let them become a part of your identity. Lesson 9. Your purpose is your compass. When you don't have a clear purpose, insecurity can fill the void. You feel lost, without direction, at the mercy of others' opinions. The Stoics believed that our purpose is to live a life of virtue, to be the best person we can be. When you have a clear purpose, your actions have meaning. You no longer ask yourself if you are good enough. You ask yourself if you are being true to your values. Insecurity fades because you have an internal compass. And that compass tells you that what matters is not the opinion of others, but the path you choose to walk. Purpose is the light that guides your steps in the darkness of uncertainty. When you feel insecure, it's because you are lost, not knowing where you are going. But when you have a clear purpose, every step you take, every action you perform, brings you closer to that goal. And on that path, insecurity has no place. You are too busy living your purpose to worry about what others think. Lesson 10. The practice of self-compassion. Finally, the Stoic path is not a path of harshness and self-criticism, it is a path of self-compassion. The Stoics understood that we are all imperfect, that we make mistakes. Treating yourself with the same kindness you would treat a friend is the key to true security. Insecurity is an internal voice that tells you that you are not enough. And today, Stoic wisdom gives you the tools to respond to it, calmly and firmly. I may not be perfect, but I am enough for me. I do the best I can with what I have, and that's what really matters. Self-compassion is the act of recognizing your own humanity. It is understanding that you are not perfect, that you will make mistakes, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself for your mistakes. Learn from them. Don't punish yourself for your insecurities. Accept them as a part of your journey. Self-compassion is the foundation of true security. It gives you permission to be yourself, without fear, without shame. It gives you the strength to face your fears, knowing that, no matter what happens, you will always have yourself. I know this all sounds like a big challenge. It's not about eliminating insecurity overnight. It's about recognizing that you have the power to build something stronger, more authentic. It's about giving yourself permission to be human, to make mistakes, to feel fear, but not to let that fear define you. The next time you feel the sting of insecurity, I want you to pause, just for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask yourself these two questions. What can I control about this? Focus on your response, on your effort, on your values. Let go of the rest. And, what story am I telling myself about this? Is it a story of failure or one of learning? Start small. Apply these ideas in a conversation, in a decision, in a moment of doubt. Each time you do, you will be building a stronger foundation for your mind. You will be cultivating the garden of your being with confidence and peace. You are not seeking the world's approval. You are seeking peace with yourself. And that peace, like the rising sun, has always been within you, waiting for you to let it shine. It is one thing to understand these principles, and another to live them. The first step, the one you take right now, is often the hardest. But remember, the Stoics weren't born wise. They became so through daily practice. This isn't about becoming a new person overnight. It's about taking small, deliberate steps. It's about choosing to be kind to yourself when you fail. It's about taking a deep breath and focusing on what you can control when the world feels overwhelming. This path is a marathon, not a sprint, and every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to a stronger, more peaceful self. The next time that familiar knot of insecurity tightens in your stomach, don't fight it, acknowledge it, see it for what it is, a fleeting thought, a story your mind is trying to tell you. Don't let it become your reality. Instead, gently redirect your focus. What is one small, purposeful action you can take right now? Maybe it's finishing a task, reaching out to a friend, or simply taking another deep breath. By anchoring yourself in action, you show that voice of doubt that it has no power over you. You are the one in control. Insecurity thrives in a vacuum. It grows in the silence of unexamined thoughts and the darkness of fear. So, bring it into the light. Talk about it, not to complain, but to understand. Share your feelings with a trusted friend, or write them down in a journal. The simple act of putting your insecurities into words strips them of much of their power. You'll find that what once felt like a monster in the shadows is often just a shadow itself, unable to withstand the light of honest self-reflection. Remember that your value isn't a prize to be won, or a score to be tallied. Your value is inherent. It's woven into the very fabric of who you are. The world may try to convince you otherwise, with its constant demands for perfection and its endless comparisons. But those are just games. Your true worth lies in your integrity, your courage, and your kindness. It's in the way you show up for yourself and for others. This is the only scorecard that matters, and it's one you get to fill out every single day. Today is a new day, a new beginning. Yesterday's mistakes, insecurities, and failures are exactly that, yesterdays. They don't define you, and they don't dictate your future. You have the power to choose who you want to be today. You have the power to live with intention, to act with purpose, and to choose peace over panic. Don't let the past hold you captive, or the future paralyze you. Live in this moment, and make it count. So, as you go about your day, remember this simple truth: you are enough. You have the strength, the wisdom, and the courage you need to face whatever comes your way. Your journey to a life of confidence and peace has already begun. All you have to do is keep walking,